Hello my beautiful friends and welcome to my menstruation vlog or my bleed time vlog, whatever you want to call it. I was expecting my bleed the last few days. I was actually supposed to get it yesterday or the day before and it just arrived today. So I just want to share with you my journey, the practices I do, kind of how I navigate this time because our menstruation phase of our cycle as women is our inner winter. It is when we are shedding, when we are letting go, when we are releasing, when we are just more in a cocoon vibe. We're feeling like we just want to close off from the world. Our intuition is very heightened during this time. And overall, it is just a space of deep reflection, surrender, being with yourself, giving yourself the most love and self-care that you possibly can because your womb, your uterus is literally shedding and releasing, creating new space for something to be born in your follicular phase of your cycle, which I will go into in another video, but today is all about menstruation. So, since I got my bleed yesterday, I made myself a nice, beautiful ribeye steak with some raw carrots with a little bit of olive oil, lemon, and a sprinkle of brown salt. Raw carrots are amazing for you in general, for your hormones. Steak during your bleed time is so good and so nourishing for your body because it contains iron and minerals that your body's losing because you're literally bleeding out, and steak, red meat, really just helps replenish your body with all the nutrients that it needs. So I will be warming this up for myself for lunch, and I will be drinking a glass of raw cow milk that I got from a farm. And I just want to say, if you are in the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, then I totally recommend going to Miller's Biofarm. I just got the steak there. I tried it for the first time. It was amazing. It's a regenerative organic farm, and I also got the milk there, and 10 out of 10. I'm gonna show you this steak because it looks so good. And yeah, it's really interesting. I used to be vegan, vegetarian, so anti-meat, but after being veggie for 5 years, I started developing all these hormonal imbalances, and it just made my health worse than it already was. And coming back to eating an animal-based intuitive diet has really shifted things for me so much. I feel so good. I feel so good in my body generally. And yeah, before you judge the meat, just know that we're all bio-individual. We all have specific needs and everybody's different. No one's the same. So it's really important to honor your body and how you feel because you are a unique individual. Here is my plate. So I heated up some steak from last night, the carrots. I didn't finish an egg this morning, so I took it out of the fridge with some cottage cheese that I also didn't finish this morning. And as a little dessert, I made 2 little dates with coconut oil in it. So yeah, also something I love doing every time before I eat is just taking a moment of gratitude for the food that's on my plate. This is Buddy, by the way. For taking a moment, just expressing gratitude for the food on my plate, for the hands that got it here, for the soil that grew this food, for the animals that gave their life for me to be nourished. So I just take a moment. I'm gonna show you guys my favorite period undies that I wear. They're made by Riff Care. I love them so much, by the way. They are sustainable. They're made of organic hemp and cotton. So yeah, they're super comfy. I don't like using tampons or pads. I just like free bleeding like this into these undies. Shout out Riff Care to the cutest little period undies I've ever seen. This is not a paid sponsorship, by the way. I just love them so much. Also, if you're watching this, I want to let you know that breaking out is normal. Especially when you're about to bleed. It is normal to get pimples and acne, and I want this to be your invitation to allow yourself to love these little imperfections that are popping up, because it is what makes you you. And why would you reject, why would you not love yourself because of a physical attribute? You are an infinite being living in this human experience, and you are young, and you are so beautiful. Why waste your time not loving every ounce of your being, even though it's not pretty by society standards? All we can do is accept and love ourselves fully as we are, because we only got one shot at this life, and it's not worth to not love ourselves throughout this entire process. I finished up my work for the day, so I am going to put on some comfy clothes, go to Barnes & Noble, buy a new journal, because I just finished mine. I actually started it in the beginning of January. Oops. And now it's done, and it's really interesting because it fully marks a whole cycle that I've been through. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that and also buy a new book. I think I'm gonna get Braiding Sweetgrass and then take this little one for a walk, because both of us need a little bit of movement, and walking is great for me today. I want to get movement because it's important, and walking is good because it's light and easy. So I just got back from Barnes & Noble. I'm gonna do a little book haul with you. I got a new journal, and I stumbled upon The Divine Matrix by Greg Braden, which I am so excited to dive into. It's about bridging time, space, miracles, and belief, diving into quantum physics and really just illuminating our divine matrix of reality that we live in. I was gonna go on a walk, but I ended up coming home because I am so tired. And on the way back, I bought some raspberry leaf tea, which is amazing for cramps and PMS symptoms because it tones your lining of your uterus, which this is amazing. If you're bleeding, I recommend with raw unfiltered honey, and yeah, just drinking warm liquids during your bleed is really, really, really good to keep your inner winter warm and nourished and comfortable. My mind is running and I want to be doing stuff, but I know I have to just lay down and relax and really have a plan to do nothing except restore, maybe journal a bit, and go to bed. So it's day 2, night 2 of my bleed, and I just wanted to show up raw and real because the last day and a half have been very low, and I've been experiencing a lot of self-doubt, a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of unknown and confusion, and throughout it all, it was making me feel unsettled, like there's something wrong with me, but I keep reminding myself, and I'm really doing my best to keep reminding myself that I'm literally shedding blood and going through a death process, and it's normal and okay for things to not be clear because they're not supposed to be during this time. It's literally an opportunity for transformation and going deep within yourself to reflect, to not make any decisions or actions because you're going through this transformation. So I'm saying this because I'm also saying this to myself, but when you're on your bleed, just allow yourself to rest and not make any decisions, because it's a time of reflection, rejuvenation, and rest, and that's just it. So I'm gonna do my best to do that. I'm gonna journal and just talk about my desires and go deep into my desires, because that's all I can do right now, and express how I'm feeling. Good night, I love you, I'll see you soon. I wanted to share some diet and movement tips while you're on your menstrual cycle. Your body requires low intensity workouts that don't require a lot of energy. So going for walks in nature like this, super easy, but at least you're still getting movement. Yin yoga, super restorative yoga, stretching, deep breathing, that's movement for your breath. So that's amazing. As for food, I think I already mentioned this before with red meat, but it's super good to replenish on iron since you're bleeding a lot. It's also great to eat a lot of high-fat foods like fatty fishes that contain DHA, omega-3s, omega-6s, warm, nourishing broths and teas. My favorites are red raspberry and Vitex, which is an herb. Also, eating magnesium-rich foods is super important because our body is tired and it helps our nervous system to relax and regulate. Dark chocolate is actually amazing for this, so indulge in dark chocolate.